Poker2Nite presents Poker2Nite. Coming up, Brandon Cantu takes down another title. Could he be the best young poker player on the circuit today? Many people still consider Jeff Madsen among the top young players, and he joins us in studio to bust a rhyme and go on the clock. We continue our Girls of Poker feature with Lacey Jones. All of that, plus Dana Workman dishes the latest buzz with P2N Online on this edition of Poker2Nite. Thank you for joining us on Poker2Nite. I'm Scott Huff. He's Joe Sebok. Now, last week, Siebes, you got a chance to dance with supermodel Joanna Krupa. We've got Jeff Madsen in studio coming up here in a little bit. Will you battle rap him?
I think I was just going to dance with him, actually. Is that weird?
Hopefully not lambada. Well, Dana Workman's got a lot to do on the show today, P2N Online and Girls of Poker, so let's go to the legendary Dana Workman.
Gosh, the adjectives just keep getting better every week. Thanks, Scott. Big show today. I talked to Lacey Jones for our latest Girls of Poker segment, so you'll see that later in the show. And we answer some of your excellent questions from our reader mailbag, all on P2N Online.
Sounds good, Dana. Let's get right to it with our weekly headlines. Brandon Cantu won the Wynn Poker Classic last week. The $5,000 buy-in event netted Cantu a first-place prize of over $360,000. In second place, Jared Jaffe, who was a final tableist at the WPT Southern Poker Championship. And other notable finishes included NAPT Venetian winner Thomas Marchese in 4th, Eric Lindgren in 10th, and Justin Bonomo in 17th. Now, Siebes, there are so many young players that are finding success early in their tournament careers. Do you think Brandon Cantu, though, could be the best of the best here?
Well, it's pretty hard to fault him as a pick. I mean, he's got WSOP bracelets, WPT win. He just picked up another win here. But I'm going to go with a couple other guys, maybe a Vivek Raj Kumar, Jason Mercier, who's been unconscious for the last year, and one of my favorites, Dan O'Brien, who finally busted through at the Bay 101 last week. But in truth, it's probably somebody that we haven't heard of. It's probably somebody who's coming up, he's learning the game, he's studying, and he or she, I should say, are going to bust in, maybe win a bracelet soon when they turn 21, and then it'll be on. So I think we have to wait.
In other news, all suspects have been arrested this past week in connection to the EPT Berlin armed robbery. After one of the alleged suspects turned himself in, German authorities quickly arrested 20-year-old Ahmad El Awati. A couple of days later, 20-year-old Mustafa Ukarkis was also apprehended. Finally arrested last Sunday, a 19-year-old named, and I kid you not, Jihad Chetwi. Might want to change that name to get off some no-fly lists there, Jihad.
Wow. I also read that German police found the Mercedes used as a getaway car and determined that the suspects all evenly split the 242,000 euros that they stole from the event. It's good to see that they won't be padding their bankrolls after all, Huff.
In other news, also possibly padding his bankroll is Dave the Devilfish Uliet. The popular Brit poker player is rumored to have a movie in the works about his life story. While it's still in its early stages, Devilfish did reportedly have this to say. It's going to be a great movie with lots of funny stories in it, a bit like the Guy Ritchie stuff. If you can imagine Snatch, but put the Devilfish in it, it'll be a bit like that. Okay, Sebok, we all agree there hasn't been a great poker movie out in a long time, but is Dave the Devilfish Uliet's biopic really going to be worth watching?
I'm still stuck in the description. My head's going to pop. Is that a horror movie? I'm trying to figure it out. The truth is that you're right. There haven't been a ton of good poker movies, but I think that some might be coming. You know, it's getting more popular. Even a guy like Phil Hellmuth, I've heard rumored that a film might be made of him. Phil Ivey has a compelling story. Amarillo Slim, I've actually heard is sort of further down the path. Nicolas Cage was rumored to be playing him. But for me, for my money, what I really want to see is something about Doyle Brunson, the Godfather, and that's something that's been talked about for quite some time. He is the top of the top. He's had an amazing life, so that's one that I'm going to hold on for.
And of course, your movie was already released and was wildly successful. Brad Pitt played you in the theatrical release. 7.
Awesome.
Google it. And finally, the WSOP announced that in just 1 week, over 125,000 votes have been cast for their All-Star Tournament of Champions.
Pretty unbelievable. That number is so sick for 1 week.
And we wanted to get some people within the industry's take on it, so let's go to Las Vegas, where Chops from Wicked Chops Poker, Dan Mahowski from Poker2Nite, and Liv Boeree and professional poker player Gavin Smith debate if the WSOP got it right this time. Chops?
Let's just get right into it. Dan, this is the 4th iteration of this Tournament of Champions concept. Do you think they got it right this time?
Well, I'm not going to say they finally got it right, but they definitely have evolved it to a whole new level here, because now they're bringing in people from all over the world, literally, to vote for who they want to see.
Gavin, as a non-bracelet winner, you're not eligible for the event, but as one of the more popular poker players on tour, you probably would have gotten voted in if you are. Do you think that this format is fair?
Yes and no. It's fair that I'm not in. It's fair that I think you should have to win something to get in it. I think that the ones that have won a lot of bracelets should get in. Like, you know, like Negreanu and Scotty Wynn, Lane Flag, they've all got like 5-6 bracelets. They should be automatics. I think they should do it that way, that they have more automatic qualifiers and then, you know, leave up maybe like 10 spots for votes amongst people that have only got 1 or 2 bracelets.
Liv, what are you hearing from poker players on the circuit? What's the general consensus as far as this new format?
The feedback I've heard so far has actually been really positive. I mean, the players I know that have actually been nominated, they're out there promoting themselves on their Twitter, on their Facebook. You know, they're really trying to put in the votes. But I think that the best thing about it is that it's $1 million free roll, and you know, it's nice that something is actually being given back to the players. You know, after 30 years or however many long it's been for the World Series, all that rake that's been taken, it's now being given back in the form of, you know, $1 million is a lot.
All right, well, I think there's going to be a lot of debate on this still in the upcoming weeks leading up to the tournament itself. We'll revisit it again in the future. Everybody, thanks for joining.
All right, thanks, guys. Very good points. I'm sure we'll have plenty of time to debate it in the coming weeks. We're going to go to a commercial now, but when we come back, Joe Navarro joins us via Skype to go over his top poker tells. Dana Workman interviews Lacey Jones for this week's Girls of Poker feature. And later, we answer your questions from our reader mailbag. All coming up on Poker Tonight.